Hey guys, welcome to grammar. Alright, so for the last few days of school, we've been talking about contractions, and I made you guys instant doctors and you got to do some contraction surgery with me. Remember, when we have contractions, it's just when we make two words shorter and some of the letters are taken out and you put that apostrophe in, or kind of like that scar in where you took the letters out. Just like in the two words he is, if you remember, we take out the I and then you put an apostrophe where the I used to be, and we make the contraction he's instead of he is, and it makes it a little shorter and easier to say. Alright, so let's practice making some of these contractions real quick. What about the word she had? Do you guys know what it would turn into? She had. What would it turn into? Yeah, she'd. So you're going to take out the H and the A, put the apostrophe in, and now you've got she'd. She had turns into she'd when we do our surgery and we go in and we take out some of its bad letters. Remember, the apostrophe always goes where the missing letters were. Alright, so what about is not? Do you guys remember what you need to take out? And remember, it's always going to be the second word that gets the letters taken out. The second word. It always has some letters taken out of it. And it's always at the beginning of the word. Sometimes it's the first letter, sometimes it's the first two letters. But it's always the second word, and it's at the beginning that you take the letters out. When you go in and you cut and you take the letters out. Alright, so what does is not turn into? Yeah, we have to go in and take out the O. He's got a bad O. And it turns him into isn't. Don't forget to put the apostrophe where you took the letter out, the O. Alright, same thing for Mr. Had not. Since he's got the word not, anytime you have the word not, you're always going to take the O out. So we take out the O and put the apostrophe in there to turn had not into hadn't. Good, like we hadn't had any snow yet today. Ooh, what about I would? Do you remember what we have to take out of I would? Yeah, remember it's always the second word, and the word would has a lot of bad letters that you have to go in during surgery and take out. Yeah, we have to take all those out, and it's going to leave you with the contraction I'd. I'd help you if you fell down. Ooh, there's a good one with are. Do you guys remember what you need to take out of the word are when you do surgery to make a contraction? So they are would turn into, yep, you take out the A and it's going to turn it into there. They are turns into there. Oh, what about a word will? What comes out of will? Do you remember? Yeah, the W and the I, and that will turn he will into he'll. Oh, there's another one with is. Do you remember what comes out of is? The I, and then you're going to put the apostrophe there and make she is turn into she's. Oh, we haven't done a word with have yet. Do you remember what we have to cut? It's always at the beginning. We cut and we take out some of the letters. Do you remember what letters we take out of we have to make? Yeah, you take out the H and the A and we make weave. We have turns into weave. Alright, so this next one is a weird one. We call it a weird one because will not, it should turn into won't, because you just go in and take out the O, right? Won't. But wilt isn't a word. So we call it a weird one because will not doesn't follow the rules. There always seems to be something that doesn't follow the rules. And will not does not. It turns into won't. So anytime you see won't, remember it used to be will not. Or if you see will not, remember it turns into won't. I won't forget that won't used to be will not. Alright, so here comes the part where we're going to practice on your own, but before we do, we're going to go back over real quick and remember what comes out of these words. So remember, if you have a contraction with the word not, Do you remember what you go in and cut out of not? Well, hold on, it's not writing. There we go. Go in and cut out the O. Very good. All right, what about if you had the word will? Do you remember what you cut out of Mr. Will? The W and the I. What about the word are? Do you remember what you cut out? Yep, just the A on this one. What about have? Yep, the H and the A. What about is? Do you remember what you go in and cut out of is? Just the I. And then do you remember about would? He was that tricky one. He had a lot of bad letters. Yep, you cut out the W, the O, the U, and the L to just leave the D in that one. Very, very good. All right, so let's try some of these on our own. Oops, there we go. You will need a board or a piece of paper because you're going to do this one on your own. And we're going to call this one number 1. And I'm going to put letters in each box. We're going to call that one A, and this one's B. We're going to call this one C, and this one D. And now in just a second, I'm going to hit a button. I'm going to hit a button, and the 2 words are going to pop up in this circle. And you're going to have to pick what's the right way to do surgery and put those 2 words together to make a contraction. So the 2 words are could have. Do you remember? We always take it out of the second word. Do you remember what comes out of have to make could have? And remember, the apostrophe has to go where you took the letters out. So which one is the correct way to make could have? And you're just going to write A, B, C, or D. I'm going to write this down too, so when I grade it, I'll know which ones are right. All right, let's try the next one. All right, and this one's going to be number 2. I'm going to go up here and change this to number 2. All right, so let's see the 2 words. Ooh, I will. What did you take out of will? Remember, you always take it out of the second word. What do you take out of will to make I'll? Because I will turns into I'll. Which one's the correct one? So you're going to write this down for number 2. A, B, C, or D. All right, let's try the next one. Ooh, this one's going to be they are, and it's number 3, so I'm going to change this to number 3. Oops. Number 3. What do we take out of are to turn they are into their? So which one's the correct there? All right, let's try the next one. Oops. Ooh, we got he is for number 4, so let's change this to number 4. What do we take out of is to turn Mr. He is into he's? Because he is turns into he's. Which one is correct? All right, number 5 is we would. Ooh, remember would? So we need to turn this into number 5. And what would you take out of we would to turn we would into we'd? You could say we would have a party, or you could say we'd have a party. That'd be a lot faster, wouldn't it? All right, number 6 is does not. Do you remember what you need to take out of not to turn does not into doesn't? Does not turns into doesn't. Which one's the correct doesn't? All right. Whoops. I'm going to go back. There we go. This is number 7. All right, we've got the word. It's going to be you have. And what do we take out of have to turn you have into you've? You have turns into you've. Which one is the correct one? Remember, you could just write A, B, C, or D. All right. So you only had 7. And remember, the apostrophe goes... Yep, the apostrophe goes where the missing letters were. So don't forget, that's where the apostrophe always goes. All right, congratulations. I think you all hopefully have done wonderful on your contractions. So you're going to turn this into me. And then you also have a practice page that you're going to do. So you have 2 things that you're doing in grammar today. You have to turn in your picture of your board where you just did these with me. And then you have another page where you're going to practice, but it should be really fast, okay? All right, bye guys.